Formula One is one of the most popular sports in the world, period. Each race weekend, it attracts 100 million viewers to watch the race. And for a little bit of context, the Super Bowl attracts 100 million people, and the only two sporting events that beat it out occur every 4 years, which is the FIFA World Cup and the Olympic Games. So coming next year in 2021 are the biggest rule changes coming to the sport's 70-year history. So I'm going to be running you through those today. For the past decade, the top three teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, have been dominating the sport, and the first team, Mercedes, has won the championship for the past 6 years. So these sweeping rule changes, the goal of them is to make racing more exciting, fairer, and just more fun to watch as a fan of the sport, and make it more competitive. So first, I'm gonna run you through a brief history of what Formula One is and a little base knowledge for you, and then we're gonna get into the rules. The first main point of the rules is the redesigned cars that double as a way to create cleaner air and closer racing. The second point is there are fairer finances coming to level the monetary playing field. And number three, there's standardized parts coming. So with Formula One just around the corner, the first race since COVID is happening July 5th. This is the perfect time for new fans of the sport to see what's coming, so you know what to look for and compare as they're watching for this season and the next before 2021. So let's get right into it. For a little background, this was actually a picture taken in 1950 at the very first race in Silverstone. So it's 70 years old. 2020 is the 70-year anniversary of it. There's 10 teams, 2 cars, and 2 race drivers per team. The top speed of the car is 230 miles an hour, and they produce enough downforce to where they could drive on the ceiling. Like I said, for the past 6 years, Mercedes has dominated, and they've won the championship. So that was a little background of what Formula One is as a sport. It's a super heritage-rich sport, and they attract the best drivers and the most exciting racing in the motorsports world and in the sports world. So getting into our first point of the 2021 Formula One rule changes is the new look of the cars. So as you can tell right here, the current car versus the 2021 car. The 2021 car is going to be more sleek, feature larger wheels, a bigger rear spoiler, and a simplified front wing. And so those are the main aesthetic changes of the car, just to make it look more thrilling for the fans. And it's also functioning as a way to produce cleaner air and closer racing for the car. So in this graphic here, we see the current car producing dirty air, which is just, it produces where the following car has to follow not as close, which produces not as fun racing. And then the new car is making cleaner air, so the car behind can race closer, more exciting racing, better for the fans. So that was a little run through of the first point. So the new aesthetic, which is also functioning as a way to produce cleaner air and closer racing for the fans. So now coming into the second point, fairer finances. For the past history of Formula One, there's been no cost cap to what the companies can spend. So that means the companies such as Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, who can spend the most, get the best drivers, they win all the time. Hence Mercedes winning for the past 6 years. So they're bringing down the cost cap to 175 million. And for a little bit of context, last year Mercedes spent 400 million and they won, of course. And then the team at the very bottom only spent 130 million. So that's about a 4-to-1 ratio. And you can see what happens when you're a team of everyone else. It's not that fun to watch. So the fairer finances are bringing more diversity, and they're letting the drivers now decide and be the determinant of who wins and who loses versus the guy who makes the most money wins all the time. So now coming into our third and final point is the standardized parts. For the history of Formula One, there has been no oversight as to what goes into the car. The car just had to meet certain parameters, but other than that, they had free reign. So now the governing body has introduced standardized parts where they have to be used in the car, and it's in every car on the grid. All 20 cars share these parts. So the inner workings of the car are also they're going to make the cars a little more identical. So then again, the drivers are going to be the deciding factor, not the person who spends the most money on the car is going to win. So that's the third and final point. The standardized parts, cars more identical, and therefore the drivers are the deciding factor, makes for better, more exciting racing, which we've all been asking for, all the fans, including myself. So as a recap, the first race back is coming in on July 5th. I'll be tuning in, and after running you through the 3 new Formula One 2021 rules, of the new aesthetics and functional changes coming to the airflow of the car, the new fair finances, and the standardized parts. I hope you'll tune in and watch the race so you can see how the sport is in the state now compared to where it will be in 2021. And as a little parting quote from Enzo Ferrari, he started Ferrari. In the spirit of what is to come, Enzo said, "What happened behind you doesn't matter." Thank you very much.